My YouTube channel started as a way for me to document and talk about my interest in tarot and also some of the key aspects of spirituality that are interesting to me. But then it grew into a really holistic, creative expression of who I am and of so many of my interests. I talk about witchcraft on the channel, I talk about new age concepts, health and well-being, diet, coping strategies for emotional issues or negative thought patterns based on things that I personally used when I was going through my own difficulties. I bring in a lot of the beliefs that I have and the tools that I use in my work as a spiritual counsellor with my clients. But I also allow myself to get personal on the channel. I do vlogs and I talk about stuff that comes up in the moment, and I talk about things that are directly occurring or having an effect in my life. And I try to package what I'm going through and explain it in an accessible way so that it can be useful to other people. And I allow synchronicity to be somewhat of a guiding force. To me, that's really important. I love the idea of just riffing on a topic and just seeing what speaks to me in the moment, and then recognizing that other people can link up to it, they can match up to it, and it speaks to them at the right time. And that's something that I've learned from having a YouTube channel, just basically how much that can happen and how much of a gift it is. And it's really like, it feels like the universe is speaking to me when I do that, when I match up with what somebody needs and it's just come at the perfect time. And then it's like we are connected through cyberspace in that moment, which I love. I tend to allow many different influences to inform and guide my content. I just let whatever speaks to me come through. Whatever I'm reading might be something that I feature in a video or start talking about or riffing on. I'm very often checking out other people's content and seeing if I can feel guided to explore further in different ways. I really like to keep it multifaceted because that's kind of who I am as a person, but it will always be on topic. It will always be about spirituality, personal growth, emotional development. I'm really interested in the place where psychology and spirituality meet. That's where I really kind of enjoy that part of the terrain. That's where I really found my feet a long time ago when my mother used to kind of read works by Carl Gustav Jung and a lot of Jungian analysts, and she was reading like The Women Who Run with Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, and she was picking up all of these books. And so I had access to her bookshelves, and her bookshelves were just chock full of things like archetype theory and how to interpret symbolism and how to break down and interpret your dreams and how to recognize the link between the personal and the transpersonal. So this is stuff that really interested me. I've also been a very big student of the occult and a fan of all things esoteric and witchy for a really long time. I first identified as a witch when I was 12 years old, and it's just gone on from there. I like to kind of dip my toe into different kinds of waters and see what I can learn from that side of life. So that's something that also comes up on the channel. And with regard to my tarot and my oracle, my interest in cards, it's really about kind of being that perpetual student, talking about what I'm learning in the moment, also teaching what I can teach to others and giving in any way that I can to others so that they can strengthen their own journey with the cards. I'm so passionate about tarot as a tool, and I'm so passionate about all of these amazing little offspring that it's kind of spawned over time, oracle cards, and then you've got angel cards, and you've got all these different kinds of systems that you can use. I'm a huge fan of systems. I'm a huge fan of seeing how they work and what they can do for us and how they can inspire us. I don't want them to enslave me. I just want them to be useful tools for me to implement at a particular time. And I love to kind of explain what I'm learning. Some people have said that I'm somewhat of a classic wounded healer, and I would agree with that. For me, there are two stages to the learning process. There's the part where I learn what I need to learn, and I go through the difficulty that I need to go through to emerge out the other side. But then there's also this second part of the learning process where I feel deeply spiritually driven to package what I've learned and pass it on to other people. And I feel like I speak from that place of deep experience, and there's something very meaningful for me about that in particular. So I would say I am a classic wounded healer in some ways, and that will come through on the channel too. I also talk about, a number of different things like implementing techniques for things like lucid dreaming, working in the astral realm. I mentioned the chakras. I talk about things like self-love. Self-love and shadow work are both very important concepts to me, and they're concepts that I have dabbled with and I have learned what an incredible difference they can make in my own life. And I love to pass that stuff on. I want to give that and pass it on to other people in whatever way that I can. I like to try and find accessible ways of explaining things to people so that they can take the tools and use them in a way that fits with their personality. So I just love to kind of learn things and then regurgitate them in a way that can be useful for other people. And I truly believe in the spiritual value of things like working with symbolism and things like self love, owning your personal power, and really getting into deep shadow work, psyche diving, tapping into what is hidden about you and what you try to hide about yourself. I'm also interested in working with the inner child, healing the inner child, and I'm really interested in how we can use archetypes to evolve on a personal level and also to evolve as a species, how we can connect with that stuff again. So this is the kind of thing that you'll see when you're subscribed to my channel, just lots of rambling and lots of talking through these ideas in real time. And, I would really appreciate you being along for the ride. And one of the key things that I love about YouTube is the connection factor. So don't be shy, don't be afraid to comment and say hello to me and give me your ideas. And thanks for listening and watching.